DC and Marvel are the two biggest publishers of comic books in the world, and recently they have branched out to video games and mainly to a massive movie franchise. Marvel did this successfully and created millions in the process, and well, DC put out some movies. Now the question is, if DC and Marvel were able to do this, how about the smaller publishing houses? Your Image, your Dark Horse, your Valiant. We did have an attempt in 2020 with the Bloodshot movie starring Vin Diesel, but less said about that, the better. If they had put in more time and more effort, I'm sure that a lot of people would have flocked to the cinemas to watch Bloodshot in action. He is a little known hero, but he has made a big impact in the Valiant comics. And there are loads of these heroes who should be able to make millions for their publishing houses. I'm Chris from Nerding Geek Life, and this is our top 5 of comic book characters who deserve a movie. Cassandra Cassie Hack was raised by her mother in western Wisconsin, where she was bullied the entire time. Now, her mother was a lunch lady at school, and she found her own way to deal with the bullies of her daughter. She chopped them up and put them in the lunch meat, serving them to the other kids at school. Now, at a certain point, Cassandra found this out and tried to turn her mother in to the cops. Her mother, however, committed suicide by dunking her head into a steaming, boiling water. It wasn't long after that the mother returned to life, and Cassie had to put her down with a bullet through the head. This sent Cassie on a journey together with a misshapen man, Vlad, across the United States of America, fighting resurrected serial killers all along the way. Obviously, this franchise would be rated for mature audiences because a comic book series hack and slash which feature Cassandra and her loyal companion Vlad would definitely be full of gore and some nudity as well. But it would be an awesome series to see on the big screen or as a standalone TV show. A drunken demigod and a Catholic boy who is convinced that said demigod is the devil. Isn't that a nice setup? Archer is raised in a very strict Christian home. His parents, however, are also part of a secret cult that rules the world behind the scenes. This cult is convinced that the immortal Armstrong is gonna be their downfall, and they send young Archer on his way to kill Armstrong, convincing him that he is a devil. This does not go according to plan, and when Archer finds out the truth, Archer and Armstrong set out to destroy the cult. Now we have a young boy who's brought up under a very strict set of religious rules and they get tossed out of the window when he actually meets a drunken immortal. It's a lot of laughs, it has some very serious moments as well, and it's balls to the walls action. How can you not like a movie like that? Fate Herbert, aka Sapphire, is a rather weird entry here. She is part of the Harbinger's Renegades, and she is a major nerd. And as you know, we don't use the word nerd here as a bad thing. She lost her parents at a young age, and Fate was raised by her grandmother. Now, Fate found solace in the fantasy world that her parents once shared with her: comic books, sci fi movies, especially the TV shows of Joss Whedon. Now, eventually, Fate find out that she was what was referred to as a Psyot. Now, Psyots had special abilities that could be activated. When hers was activated by Peter Stanchak, he found out that she could fly. Later, she also developed the abilities to create a companion field, carrying other people in her flight as well. And recently, she has been delving further into her abilities, using telekinesis and psychokinetic powers. What is also quite wonderful about this character is that we can set up an entire franchise here, much in the same way the MCU did. Because Fate also appears in the comics of our previous entry, Archer and Armstrong, where she has a relationship with Archer. So we're already building a wonderful franchise here out of the Valiant universe. What makes Fate a great character is that she is also mildly overweight, bringing a body positive image to younger viewers who might struggle with this problem as well. Set in the Second World War, Uber is a comic book involving the creation of superhumans. Now, these superhumans are firstly developed by Nazi Germany in order to win the war. However, both the US and the UK find out the secret behind how to create these superhumans and start building them themselves. We see Paris leveled, we see London majorly damaged, but we also see the pushback of the Allied forces. Now, Uber is an ongoing series, which means the story hasn't concluded yet. We don't know what will happen further down the line and if it will hold up. But right now, Uber is already a wonderful series delving into the Second World War, the creation of superhumans, and the impact that it has on the psyche of these newborn superhumans. It's a bit dark, with certain levity at some points, but it's definitely worth reading and hopefully watching somewhere further down the line. What happens when a character with Superman like powers turns evil? That's the question that the comic series Irredeemable asks of us. Well, you might say now that it's just a ripoff of Injustice. Actually, it's the other way around. Injustice came out in 2013, while Irredeemable has been on the scene since 2009. So Irredeemable focuses on the Plutonian, a being with Superman-like powers. He is also of a alien origin, although the plutonium is more constructed than he is actually born. He faces criticism because he is told he is withholding alien technology. The plutonium responds by giving part of the technology to certain doctors. But this unleashes a virus that kills hundreds of children before it is eventually stopped. Plutonium attempts to conceal his involvement, but his mistake, combined with the resentment of the normal human beings on the planet, make it so that the plutonium is consumed by guilt and turns evil. His first act is to lobotomize his close friend Samsara. He follows that up by destroying his home of Sky City, killing 3.5 million people in only 30 minutes. Now he is faced with a group of superheroes called the Paradigm, who are the Plutonium's former teammates, and this sets up the story. It's basically the Paradigm versus the Plutonian. It involves a lot of hard-hitting questions, a lot of action, and a lot of brutal deaths and heinous crimes committed by the Plutonian. And that's our list. Now, if you want to know more about these characters or these comic books that I've talked about, be sure to visit your local comic book store and buy a copy of it. If you know of any other comic book heroes, heroines, or groups that would make great movies, be sure to drop them down in the comments below, and maybe you'll give me something new to start reading. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done already. I've been Chris from Nerdy Geek Life, and I will talk to you all soon.